Got it. Okay, hi everybody. I hope this stays permanent. I hope it's working right at the moment. That I can't tell. I'm going to talk today about Janice, and I see that she's not here. No, I'm not going to talk about Janice. That Janice. I'm talking about Janus, the symbol for January, and talk about that a little bit. We call it. They call the month January because it is a month of that focuses just the same, and it was named after the Roman god, who was a primordial god, meaning that he had no father or mother. He's one of the original founders of the group of gods, and he was the god. We see pictures of him or portraits of him or bas reliefs or statues of a god who has two faces, one looking one direction, one looking another. Sometimes he was even seen to be four-faced, looking in the four prime directions. But most of the time it was two faces, one looking one direction, one looking the other. And we see that in the month named after him, Januarius, or as we say, January. And that month is a month where we are looking back on the year that just passed and looking forward into the year that is to come. You know, one of the things I found very strange about him was that he didn't have temples. They didn't make temples like they did for other gods and goddesses. Instead, there was an enclosed area, very large enclosed area, with a gate at one end and a gate at the other. And you could wander around inside there as long as you wanted. You could just stay in there and look at all the sides and see how large the area was before you hit a wall, and just continue on around because it was a curved wall, and go past the other gate if you wanted and look at the rest of the place and look at everything in between, and sit down and count the little wildflowers or whatever might be there. You could do anything you wanted inside there, but eventually you had to go out. The thing is, you couldn't go out by the same gate that you came in. You had to go to the other end and go out. And this represented, of course, life as we know it. That's what we all do. We come in through one gate and we wander around inside that area as much as we want to. And then there comes the time when we must depart and we leave through the other gate. That describes life as we know it in the physical plane. But what I wanted to talk about is not just the physical plane, but the mental and even further deep into the spiritual plane of existence, and what happens if it's set up the same way. And evidently it is. Everything seems to have this dual nature. That was one of the things about Janus, as they pronounced it in those days, or Janus. And that is that his nature represented portals, passageways, time, endings, and so forth. Many, many things. This I found very curious and started thinking about how that would work out in not only our physical life, as I was saying, but in our mental life as well. Something catches our attention and we get into it, as we say. I'm really into this. Well, we get into it and we find out all the different aspects of what it makes it work. Sometimes we re-engineer something or reverse engineer something in order to find out how it works, how it was put together, and so forth. Or we go into an area which has not been explored before, and we decide in our mental state how that might be. We set up different kinds of scenarios, and we try to decide scientifically how that could possibly work, or is it just another dead end? And then we leave by that dead end. That goes for the mental state. We could spend a lot of time inside there wandering around and just looking at all the pretty little doodads that exist in that particular system that we're looking at, or that hypothesis that we are trying to study. Or we can leave there and move on to something else. Oftentimes that's what occurs. We leave there and move on to something else, and we feel like we have grown some from the entire experience, or we are disappointed because it was a dead end and led to nowhere. And what have we done? We have wasted our time on something that had no real meaning or goodness for us in our life. Well, we do that not only in the scientific realm, but we do it also in the emotional realm as well. We get into something, we go into it, that we say we fall into a depression, or we fall into remorse, or whatever it might be, but we've entered a portal, just the same as we do in the physical. We enter into a portal. Inside there, we do the same thing. We explore depression to its very depths. We explore elation to its very depths. We explore love, infatuation, anger, resentment, all of these. We stay in it until it's time, or until we decide, or until there is enough pressure to find the portal to get ourselves out of it. This occurs very much so in what happens with people who fall into addiction. They enter a portal that they may not have been aware how easily it is to get stuck in that. They entered it first, and it's like, hey, I like this door I just went through. This is fun. This feels good. Can't wait to do it some more and more and more and more and more and more. And then suddenly we realize, this drug, I'm not doing this drug. This drug is doing me. I'm not doing this drink. It's doing me. I am being swallowed up. The I that I want to be is not there any longer. How do I get out of this? We go to the walls and we work our way around the edges, trying and trying as much as we can to get out of this, to find the portal of release. And for many people, they finally do. They finally hit bottom, as it were, and step by step crawl out of it, get out. I have to admit that's happened to me in my own life, in both all my natures that exist. It's happened to me in my mental nature, my physical nature, in my emotional nature, and in my addictive mind, as it were. I have experienced this. So I know pretty much how Janus acts in our lives. Janus, or Janus, as they would say back long ago. You know, this also goes into our spiritual nature. We discover, or are forced to practice a religious belief in our very young ages, from childhood. We move into it. We are told things that our little childish mind may say, how does that work? I don't see that. But very much like believing in Santa Claus, we believe in a God of someone else's making. We enter into it. We go through the portal of that. We explore everything that's on the inside of it. We keep wanting to be a fully formed individual. We want to do what turns out not to be in our highest good, which is to be that which others who want us desire us to be. We start losing who we truly are inside this religious portal. And we lose the idea of our true spirituality in there. Oh, we explore all the walls, we explore the ground, we see the little flowers, we see everything that exists in there, and it's beautiful, very pretty to a great degree. But then suddenly we realize that this is limiting rather than expanding. We need to see more out of life, not less. We need to discover boldly who we truly are, not simply accept what someone else has decided and decreed we are or should be. So finally, one day, if we're very, very fortunate, we find the portal. We get out of that. You know, here's the strange and really ironic thing about all that. Jesus was trying to point us toward a portal, a spiritual portal that would get us out of believing simply in a religiosity and instead seeing a true spirituality. But instead of time has created for us, for many people, the idea that Jesus is not pointing to a portal. The portal has become fogged over. It's become to a point where no one is looking for the portal. They're only looking at the one pointing at the portal and say, that's the answer and the only answer. In reality, that's not what Jesus was doing at all. He was pointing to the portal that would lead us into true spiritual being. So that's for us to fully explore, each one of us, to stop looking to the past, not necessarily creating in our mind a hoped for or longed for future, but suddenly realizing that we exit that portal and discover true being and true life. The life everlasting, as the one pointing at the portal was telling us. You want that for your life? Well, as described by the master teacher and way shower, Jesus, you'll get it. Each one of us will get it. Every one of us will get it. Oh, maybe not this time around, but we'll just keep trying and unfolding and growing, and we'll get it. That's the wonderful thing about it. It's not just a Roman belief in some God that had two faces. That was simply the symbol that they used for some deeper understanding of what reality is. You know, I found this really important too when I discovered something I didn't know about Janus. He was invoked at every prayer and every spiritual time in the life of Romans, first before any other god was prayed to or worshipped or any kind of special ceremony that was created. So they understood the idea. Let's go first to the one who opens or shows us the portal. For us, we no longer worship or believe in someone called Janus. We no longer see that, but we do have a way sure that if first we go to that one, then we see how all the other things in life are pertained and obtained. So I invite you to do that. I invite you to go forward in life, realizing that you have walked through a portal, a brand new, magnificent portal. And when you get through that, you'll start seeing with your spiritual eyes, hearing with your spiritual ears, and feeling with your spiritual heart. God bless.
Wow, we did it. Another
Yeah,
Zoom, another successful zooming in.
you heard it all?
Yeah, yeah. It just seems
Hey,
like the
good.
the Zoom people went into a portal and were there for you. So um,
Cool.
it's called "To Boldly Go Where No One's Gone Before," right, Zach? Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, let's leave the recording going just for a couple of insights from the uh, the peanuts in the group.
The peanut gallery. Okay.
So anybody would like to share, and then we'll stop the recording. Jane, you have your hand up. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just trying to, to find the clapping emoji because my voice is shot. Terry, it was wonderful. That really resonated with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yes, Janice.
Well, of course, I would love this talk, right? So, and I always
Oh, Janet.
love this months too. So thank you for reminding me. It's like as a child too, I'd write my name Jan and then January. So, yeah. And speaking about portals and things, very much interested in learning more about that. And for me, I realized recently, and it's like we say these things over and over and over again, but now I'm really like knowingly and feeling the understanding of it. And so like for me, the portals were, like the three brains that we have, and that the true portal is the heart, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And as a Catholic, looking at this picture of the Sacred Heart, and at one point realizing that that's within me also. It's not just within Jesus. And I was sharing that with my polarity clients too. And as I was come to these revelations, share them, and it's hard because we're in a place in life on this earth where there's such a toxic situation for us. And so our, brains are filled with toxic information and whatever, and our guts are filled with, the toxic things that we ingest. But the heart is the one that is least most likely to be influenced as long as we can stay in that capacity of love. So thank you, for sharing that. And I definitely relate to everything that you said, and it's beautiful and wonderful. Thank you.
And that has nothing to do with the fact that your name is Janice. Right. I understand that.
No.
And I heard a rumor that a lot of those portals are available in prayer and meditation. So if you're looking for one, you don't have to be in the basement, the first floor, or the third floor if you're in a townhouse. Wherever you meditate, there you are. Anyone else before we stop the recording?
Hi, Natasha.
What was that, Janice?
Oh, I just said hi, Natasha.
Oh, okay.
Nice to see
I want to say hi to Alan. How are you feeling, Alan? Unmute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing better, thanks.
Good.
Slow process. I'm getting used to it.
yeah. Well, everything is a process. So good to see you guys.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Alan and Miriam.
All right, let me stop the recording and then we can see what other goodies we're in store for.